I'm Stanley Johnson. I've got a great family. I've got a 4-bedroom house in a great community. Like my car? It's new. I even belong to the local golf club. How do I do it? I'm in debt up to my eyeballs. I can barely pay my finance charges. Somebody help me.
Hello, my name is Ryan. I'm one of the pastors here at Good News Church and also the director of Next Steps. And I want to welcome you to the Trek How to Win with Money. I am so excited that you have signed on to be a part of this trek, and I pray that it's going to be a tremendous time for you as we look at God's principles for us in the area of finances. These videos here on the website are just meant to get you into the trek, share some material with you, and really get you ready for your gathering that you'll have with your trail guide here in the next few weeks. And I'm hoping that'll be a tremendous time for you. If you have your guide, you can take notes as we go along. But I'd like to give some introductory comments here just in this first video regarding this trek and the importance of having it and you being a part of it. First is the idea and the reality that money is something that you and I deal with every single day. And I will tell you this, even from my own experience, when things aren't going well financially, with what's in your wallet, what's in your purse, with what's in your bank account, it really can become a tremendous source of stress and shame. It's tough. When you're not winning with money, life can be very, very challenging. And many of us watching this or participating in this trek can attest to that kind of a situation. Something else about finances too is that how you and I handle money, whether you have a lot of money or very, very little, whatever the amount is, isn't as important, but rather how you handle the money that God has given you is a really important indicator of the condition of your heart, especially toward God. In your car, you have on your dashboard lots of indicators that gives you information about how your car is performing and how it's doing and what kind of maintenance you may need to do. Money is that kind of a thing for you and I. It is that dashboard indicator that gives you and I insight as to how we're really doing in our relationship with God. And then finally, poor stewardship of the resources that God has given you can limit your opportunities to participate in the work that God would otherwise have for you. There can be times and ways that God wants to use your life or allow you to go here or there or spend time with people, maybe go on a short-term mission trip, maybe participate in a ministry, but you can't. You have to say no because debt or something else is limiting the opportunities that you have. And that can be a really tough thing to do. Our heart's desire here at Good News Church is that all of us would know how to win with money so that we could do the things God has for us, that we could give the way God is calling us to give, that we could have freedom and opportunities that are very, very unique and special because we are honoring God with the ways we are handling His resources that He's entrusted into our lives. And so the goal of this trek is to lay a strong foundation for you, for myself, for all of us, that will be asking or answering the question that really every single one of us should be asking. The question for the trek is this: God, how do you want me to handle money? How do you want me to handle it? What do I do with it? What's your will? What's not your will? What's the right thing to do? What's not the right thing to do? These are important questions that we are going to be looking at in this trek. And one of the reasons we're doing that is because today in the United States, people financially are in a lot of trouble. In fact, you notice there's some statistics here in your field guide here talking about current financial problems in America. See, many Americans, they're not winning when it comes to personal finances. Consider this: 57% of households do not have a family budget. More than half of households in America do not have a family budget where they sit down and they direct where they want their money to go. Another statistic from 2013 says this, that 76% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. That's 3 out of every 4 of us. And that's a very scary statistic. Adding to that, 27% of households in America do not have a savings account, meaning not a single dollar set aside in reserve in a savings account for them. In addition, 22% have less than $100 in a savings account. And then finally, 46% have less than $800 in a savings account. Let's step back from that real quick. What we're saying here is that over half of American families don't have a budget, and about 49%, let's just call it half, of American households essentially do not have a savings account, meaning they have $100 or less in their savings account. That's about half of Americans are in that situation, and 3/4 of Americans living paycheck to paycheck, meaning if that next paycheck doesn't show up, they're in a lot of trouble. There's more statistics to consider in light of that adds to the dilemma. The average credit card debt per household in 2013 was $15,270. The average mortgage debt, same year, 2013, $149,925. And then finally, for those who are students or maybe have somebody they're supporting that's in college, the average student loan debt in 2013 was $32,258. Result, what does all this mean? It means that our average American family is in debt nearly $200,000, has a minimal savings account, and is living paycheck to paycheck. I think it's safe to say that here in America, too many families are not winning with money. And we here at Good News Church, and then for anybody else who'd have opportunity, we want to see people winning with money. And that begins by honoring God with the principles He's laid out in His scriptures about how to handle money. Do you know there's over 800 verses in the Bible that talk about money? See, it's a big deal. And God knows it's a big deal, both because it's an indication of our heart, as well as because of how much money impacts our daily life. And so our dream here with this trek is that you would learn some key principles and skills for how to win in this area of your life. Specifically, we're going to be looking at 4 different principles that if you apply these principles to your life and to your financial reality, you're going to see some dramatic turnaround. So we're very excited for you. Thanks again for signing up for the trek. Go ahead and this is going to end this first video. We have one more for you to watch here coming up after this, and I look forward to hearing about all the good reports at your gathering with your trail guides. You get together with others in your trek, and you continue to work together to learn how God wants you and I to win with money. Thanks for signing up to this trek. We'll see you in the next video.